homogenized, no taste, plastic wrap, no smell, fucking bad candy. For a rat supermarket stand there, processed food. Out of touch with reality, convenience food. Well, look what it's done for me. Look what it's done for me. No search for ducks, no pesticide, no scraps, fucking side, right now, appetite. Destroyed, emulsified, turning out, classified, putting on the rack, yeah, processed food. Out of touch with reality, convenience food. Well, look what it's done for me. Look what it's done for me. Moving around the world in all those global superstars. You can travel around the world and buy more and 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 more. Everything freeze-dried, sterilized, pasteurized, vinegarized, taste, plastic wrap, no smell, fucking bad candy. For a rat supermarket stand there, processed food. Out of touch with reality, convenience food. Well, look what it's done for me. Look what it's done for me. No search for dust, no pesticide, no scraps, fucking side, destroyed, emulsified, classified, putting on the rack, yeah, processed. Out of touch with reality, convenience food.
I don't know. All this starving and misery in the world. And there's my customers with all their fads. And half of them are overweight. Still, if you ask them, why are people starving? What would they say, I wonder?
I heard that if 10% of America stopped eating red meat for a year, then there would be enough grain to feed the third world for a year.
They keep having children, there's no need to have children.
An overbreeding, I would think.
I'm a clue.
War, that's what causes famine.
Greediness over here, not enough money.
In short, international capitalism. Failure of the reins.
What the cause is? That's a tricky one.
They haven't got good farming methods, things like that. If that was improved, it might be a little bit better.
Do away with them.
Do away
Shoot
with
them, yeah.
Shoot them.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it something to do with the multinational companies exploiting the workers, something like that?
Just a minute. If all those people are starving, how come we're importing all that coffee, tea and nuts then? It all comes from places where people are hungry.
That's right, Albert. That all comes from places where people are hungry.
Who the hell are you? Well, why are they hungry then?
Yes. Why do we eat the food they grow while they're still hungry? Why are they hungry, Albert?
Well, there's not enough food in the world, is there?
Well, if that's true, why are we eating the food they grow over here?
Well, it's overpopulation, isn't it? There's too many of them.
Japan, Holland and Great Britain are the most densely populated countries in the world. We're not starving.
Well, it's droughts and wars. Pests eating their crops. They haven't got enough to eat for themselves.
Well, if that's true, how come they can manage to grow bananas and coffee and nuts to send over here for us to eat?
Well, they're poor and in debt, aren't they?
Yes.
And if we bought more from them, they'd have more money. And then they'd have bigger farms, irrigation systems, bigger harvests.
of bananas and coffee and nuts. They're hungry, Albert.
Well, why are we eating the food they grow while they're still hungry then?
Food is big business, Albert.
What do you mean?
I mean, there are huge multinational corporations that make a lot of money out of buying, processing and selling food. We all buy it. Everybody's got to eat.
What is this multinational coronation then?
I'll show you.
I say, who the devil are you? What are you doing mooning around in my veranda for, eh?
Albert Brown from Putney, London.
Well, I never.
I can grow more. From Putney, eh? Well, I never.
Have a seat, dear boy. Too hot to stand around on ceremony. I'll fix us some drinks.
Come.
Ah. Well, come on, make some, huh? Lovely. What brings you to this godforsaken outpost of the Empire, eh?
I thought Empty Belly Land was meant to be an independent state now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh, really. Yeah, they paint the red, white, and blue a different hue nowadays, don't they? But nothing's changed, you know. We carry on in much the same way, growing food for you all back at home.
Food. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. We thought you were all dead and starving. And well, it's quite nice out there and green.
Of course it is, dear boy. They're wonderful things, these irrigation schemes, you know. If you can afford them, of course. I waggled ours through government aid chappie I was at school with. Jolly good thing the old school tie and that, what? Gad, I'm dry.
But what about food? What do the people eat around here, for instance?
Well, we import food too, of course, Judith. Good heavens. Where do you think I get my Oxford marmalade, cornflakes and Coca-Cola from?
They can't eat marmalade all the time, can they?
Of course they can. They love that sort of food. They love our culture. Right from when we first discovered them, they loved us. I thought so. Eat, you lazy, good-for-nothing slacker. Put your back into it. That's what I pay you for, isn't it? These damn natives complain about the wages, complain about the hours, complain about the food in the company store. And then they spend all their money on Coca-Cola. I don't know. What a crazy world.
But you just said that you wanted them to buy Coca-Cola.
Yeah, but what do they have before, eh? Nothing. Just sitting about like a bunch of primitive layabouts they are. Just waiting for us to civilize them. One of my ancestors, Sir Francis Greymore, bought half America for a string of beads.
A string of beads?
They were the days. They were the days.
And all in jolly good company with a bottle of rum to boot. A bottle of rum to boot. We fought the savages,
Brought them sandwiches.
conquered lands from west to east. Our duty lies to rule the skies.
Just watch you don't get seasick.
Just watch you don't get seasick.
We brought them
Civilization,
exploitation,
medication,
molestation,
administration,
sterilisation,
organisation,
domination,
and all in the name of Queen and country.
wealth and profit and greed.
Ah, a green and verdant land. A land of opportunity. Aha! A native chief. I must go powwow with him. Hello, Chiefy. How? How? That's right. How can I best exploit these people and still come out looking good in the history books? I come in peace, O great chief.
Ugh.
Ugh? What's this? What a strange idea. Breathing in smoke from a miniature bonfire? Disgusting. That'll never catch on. Look, I'll give you some of these lovely beads for some of your lands.
What is it the white man wishes to buy? My people will ask. How can you buy or sell the air, the warmth of the land? That is hard for us to imagine. We do not own the sweet air, the bubbling water.
The land belongs to everyone. I'll make beads back then. Push off, Chief. I'll have this bit for myself, I think. Ha.
And so, Sir Francis Graham, and many men like him, conquered the world. They conquered America. South America. Australia. New Zealand. India. Ireland. Africa.
Did you say Ireland?
They took slaves from Africa and made them work on the sugarcane plantations in the West Indies and the cotton fields of America, laying the foundations of a food system which has hardly changed to this very day.
I thought you were on about Africa. What's this got to do with Ireland?
In 1845, the Irish peasants' wages were so low they barely paid the rent on their miserable hovels. To keep from starving, they grew potatoes, a nutritious crop, just capable of keeping body and soul together. Most of the time, however, they worked on the land growing food for their masters, the British, who grew rich on their sweated labour. Then suddenly one day, disaster struck. The potato blight. Providence had sent a cruel blow. Although plenty of food was being produced, it was all wheat for export, and the Irish peasant could have none of it. The potato crop was the basis of the Irish peasant's diet. Without it, they faced starvation.
You could think that's ancient history, but look at Eek in Africa today.
La 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 la. What are you staring at? Haven't you seen a woman work before? It's the women who do the work around here, and don't you forget it. May your heads grow bald and your goats give cheesy milk. I've been working since I was this high. I used to help my mother in the fields. She was tired carrying my baby brother on her back. I used to help her. I've had enough. I've had Gromor hollering at me all afternoon.
Eat, you lazy good-for-nothing slacker!
Gromor. He fiddles the scales so it looks like we've picked less, and then he puts our wages down, the great turnip head. And what does he say?
Well, my dear girl, I hardly make any money at all. The price of nuts has dropped dramatically, but it's got nothing to do with me. Besides, I have provided you with a company store.
Company store? The company store is twice as expensive as the market. And the market, what's left of it, is too far away to get to. May Weevils get in his beer. We used to own the land around here and grow food for ourselves. We were never really hungry. We'd save the food in the good years to see us through the bad times. Then they persuaded us to grow peanuts.
I say, these natives are a bit simple and primitive. Look, I'll give you lots of money if you grow nuts for me. They're easy to grow. You just bung on a few chemicals, they practically look after themselves.
It seemed like a good idea at the time. We'd be crazy not to do it. But we had to buy seeds, fertilizers, pesticides. Anyway, he tricked us. He didn't give us the price he said he would. made his eyeballs rot and his teeth fall out. He said everyone was growing peanuts now and the price had gone down. That meant we were trapped. We couldn't go back to growing our own food. Doesn't make enough money. We had to sell this land and walk to the hills and start all over again. They sent food aid to fill our empty bellies, but later it stopped us getting a price for the little we did produce. Well, who'd give a price when you can get food for free? You'd be mad.
Hello? What? 4 billion? Good work, brothers.
It's going to be hot, a diabolical plot. My father, he told me, buy low, sell high. But you gotta move fast, learn from the past. Time is money, and money is time. Time is money, money is time.
Dire Straits. Shares down 4%. Coffee, Miss Jones. And get me Williams and Coots on the line. Hello, Archie. Have you seen the news? Down 4 points, yes, overnight. I know, yes. We must act. What's that? 4.5 million? Advertising campaign, you think? Oh, yes, I see. Get the boffins on it. Yeah, okay, right. Dire Straits. Shares plummeting. Down 8 points. Coffee, Miss Jones. Make it quick. Have you seen the news? Get me Saatchi and Brown. Not a moment to lose. Get the best advertisers in town. Bring me my coffee! What? Mr. Brown's here already? Goodness me, well, show him in, show him in.
Mr. Big, I presume.
Mr. Brown. My goodness me, you chaps work fast. Quite right. Time is money, money is time. That's what I always say. Well, have a seat. Cigar? Cigarette? Coffee? 2 coffees, please, Miss Jones.
What I want to say to you, Mr. Big, is how can you sit there so complacently when there are mouths to feed?
Quite right. My goodness me, you chaps don't waste a moment, do you? Time is money, money is time. That's what I always say.
What?
Hello? Yes? 2.5 million? Well, that's ridiculous. Crowmore wants 50 cents a bag? That's preposterous. Hold out for, well, let's see, 30 cents a bag. That ought to do it. Empty belly land? What are you going on about? No, empty belly land can go hang, for God's sake. For God's sake, stop wittering on about Crowmore. Look, if he doesn't agree to our price, we'll buy our nuts fresh from Senegal or some other damn country. Look, stop bothering me with these details with you, man. Just get on with it. For God's sake.
People are starving to death out there. They need money to buy food.
Well, that's what I want to do, Mr. Brown. Feed more mouths, as you put it. But we come back to the problem, how do we get them to buy our product?
Buy your product? They can't even pay the rent. I don't seem to be getting through to you, Mr. Big.
You don't seem to be getting through to me. I don't seem to be getting through to you. Look, all I'm concerned about is that we sell more nutto bars so that our profits rise. To do that, we need a catchy, new advertising slogan.
What, to make more money?
Yes, of course. Money. That's the name of the game. That's why we're in business.
But the people who grow your nuts, they can't pay the rent.
The people who grow the nuts. They've got nothing to do with us. Look, you just concern yourself with the people we need to persuade to buy our nutto bars.
Nothing to do with you. You buy your nuts from places where people are starving.
Funny little chap, aren't you? Do you always work like this, I wonder? Look, the more nuts we buy from them, the more money they make. The more money we make too. Everybody's happy.
I used to think like that, but it doesn't work like that. Besides, you keep on putting the price of nuts down. If they don't agree to you, you buy your nuts fresh from Senegal or somewhere. They have to
My job is to keep increasing the company's profit margins, for God's sake. If I don't, then Mr. Really Big gets really cross. And when Mr. Really Big gets really cross, he gets really, really cross. You know, heads roll and all that. My career is on the line here.
So it's Mr. Really Big's problem, is it?
Well, I certainly have to jump when he tells me. After all, Mr. Really Big owns lots of other companies as well as mine, and if I don't make as much money as he wants me to, he sends it his... he sends it his rationalisation squad.
Rationalisation squad?
They go through the factory with a fucking tooth comb and stopwatches. We have to make cuts, bulk up the nutto bars with cheap rice and flour, sugar and stew. Sack people! Then we get in trouble with the unions. It's hell, I tell you. They stop at nothing with an insane desire to make more and more money. Ah!
Funny how people have their problems once you get to know them. Not you again!
We're going to go and see Mr. Really Big. I've caught you in my web. I'll hypnotize you with my power. Yes,
You're the one who's causing all the problems.
I am the power.
I said you're the one who's putting everyone down.
Oh, there you are, Albert. Pass me the sugar, will you?
Of course.
That's what I like about being Mr. Really Big. Power.
Hello, really.
The power to change things. Salt. Oh, it's a wonderful feeling at the top, you know.
Cheap labour.
Pepper. You're not a slave to the conditions around you.
Ignorance.
Gives me a great feeling of power. Of human accomplishment.
Debt.
Being human.
Brainwashing. Advertising.
Oh, just give me a hand with this a moment, will you, Albert?
Don't you dare Albert me. I know about it now. There are thousands of Eats working for hundreds of Gromors who work for dozens of Mr. Bigs, and you control them all. You said so yourself.
Yes, I suppose I do, really. But you know, I built up this business from a humble soap factory to what it is today, and I now employ thousands of people all over the world. Without me, they'd have no employment at all.
But they'd be better off not working for you and growing their own food.
Don't make any money growing food, you know, Albert.
Don't make any money? But you're stinking rich.
I don't actually grow the food, you see. I get other chappies to do that sort of thing for me. You don't make any money growing food, but by controlling the means of production.
You trickster, you. You've been dragging me around all these arguments, and it's just a big game to you, isn't it?
Oh, it's a game, is it? Tell me, have you looked inside that cake Mr. Really Big's been baking?
No, but I'll tell you something.
What's that?
It smells horrible.
I'm not surprised. Let's have a look in it, shall we?
I don't think I want to look. can I do? I'm just a tiny pawn in this big system, dropping water in the ocean. And besides, Mr. Really Big doesn't know eek and grow or goner. He goes on and on getting people to process his food. We all buy it. Gotta eat. I buy it for my cafe. And we go round saying it's got nothing to do with us. If enough people say it has got something to do with me, then anything could be done. It's up to you.